so it sets up 2nd and 10. Grant time and a completion. First catch of the game for Ephraim Hill. A first down up at the 50.
Last week, 4 catches for 47 yards for Ephraim Hill. This is a tough one. It's not a deep route. It's not one of those ones where you say he's got to go run after it, but he knows that in that middle, he's going to have to put his body on the line.
So it's a first down at the Rough Rider 50. And the handoff to Cates. Remember, Joe Lobendon not in that lineup. Pierre-Luc Labbé is the replacement at middle linebacker, and he chalks up a tackle.
Everyone's saying what a different team this is. Ken Miller back at the controls, and a guy that is really comfortable with his former coach has been Darian Durant. Look at what he has done and his numbers at 60% with no interceptions and 6 touchdowns after 6 quarters with his head coach back on the sideline.
In his last 4 games, just under 70% completions, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Second down, and he wants Dressler again, and Dressler again unable to bring it in with one hand, and Alex Suber that time providing tight coverage.
And you know what's changed here for the Bombers secondary? We watched Alex Suber in a couple of plays in the first half be influenced by a different receiver in Andy Fantus and then come off his man a little bit. That time he locked in. I mean, he knew he had number 7 and he stuck with him step for step, stride for stride, and when he turned for the ball, number 21 was right there. Get back to the fundamentals, you take your man. That's what the Bombers defense have made that adjustment.
Brown looking to the sidelines, Mike Renaud helping him out on where he should be stationed as Milo looks to pin the Bombers. This one fielded about the 17, the ball on the carpet, and Tim Brown pulls it back in with James Patrick there. So the Blue Bombers trailing at the half, score 3 on their first possession, get a stop on defense, and Buck Pierce and company try to eat into that lead right now on their second possession, starting at the 23. Pierce scrambling, Romero in pursuit, open is Corey Watson, and he'll be ushered out by Craig Butler. A first down catch for Watson up at the 44.
When things bog down, athletic quarterbacks will take it on their shoulders to try and make something happen, make a play by avoiding the pass rush. Little play action buys time early for Buck Pierce, but then watch his great mobility. Steps up in the pocket, then bounces outside almost as if he's going to run, takes it back out from under the arm and finds Watson.
Now into the hands of Reed, ducked under Tay George, gets finished off by Jarrell Freeman. Short gain for Fred Reed, and a special assistant coach on the sidelines for the last couple of weeks for these Saskatchewan Roughriders.
11-year veteran Omar Morgan.
Coaching internship, and he says he'd like to get into this full time. He said when you're a vet playing as long as he did, 11 years, he said late in your career you start being a coach anyway. 2nd and 7. Over the middle, completion. Corey Watson's got another. That ball popped loose at the end of the play. They're ruling he is down, although the Rough Riders want Ken Miller to challenge.
Well, let's take a look and see if Corey Watson was down before this ball came out and who recovered it. Oh, it looked like from that angle, that left knee down first.
And is it down there? Is the ball coming loose? Bang, bang play, and a tough one.
That left knee got down there before the ball came out. Was recovered by Saskatchewan. You can see that at the end of the play.
Corey
There's
Watson,
the knee. I don't see the ball out yet until there.
Almost simultaneous, but probably not enough to get a call. And Watson to the sidelines, and Ken Miller does want to challenge the play. At least he's talking about it with Andre Proulx.
Saskatchewan is challenging the ruling of the field of a completed pass followed by the player was down with contact. The play will be reviewed.
I think the replays we've seen show the ball had not hit the turf, but was it out of the control of Corey Watson?
Here's a better look from the backside. Looks like it's actually from that angle, it looks like it has been knocked loose before his knee touched.
Well, that is an angle I don't think the rider coaches upstairs saw before the challenge, but it's the one that gives them the best chance of getting that play overturned.
Well, it's when he loses control and whether that ball's on its way out. It looks like he does. The angles that we had seen, it didn't look like that ball had come out before the knee touch, but you can see it's jogged loose there. There's the ball right in there, and his knee clearly nowhere near the ground yet. It's on its way out. He's lost control, and still the knee has not touched the turf. So
how about Jarrell Freeman? Last week, a quarterback sack, a forced fumble, an interception, and has he done it again for the Roughriders?
Jarrell Freeman in his last 4 games, 27 tackles, 2 sacks, and an interception. He's back.
Last year in the postseason, 20 tackles, 2 sacks.
Outstanding rookie nominee a couple years ago.
But really, this is the first year where he is a starter game in and game out. And I think we've talked about it before. I think both considered him in our top 50. Did not make it, but he was one of those guys you knew that if he became a regular was going to have a chance of being an impact player in this league, and is he ever?
How good was he in that West Final against the Calgary Stampeders? I mean, moving up the tackle list too, right behind Solomon Elamimian overall this season. Boy, that's why you have all the different angles to take a look at, and why this is taking longer. The first 3 angles that we saw, it didn't look like there'd be enough evidence, but that final angle,
Bombers offense has already turned it over twice today on Buck Pierce interceptions. A team that has really limited their giveaways on the season, at least in the first half, with only 14, and in danger of their 3rd of the game here. And on the previous 2, the Roughriders were able to capitalize with major scores. It's taking a long time, but it is a tough call, and one that really would have been almost impossible to make on the field.
and this taking longer is all about where control was lost, or if it was knocked down loose. It was knocked down loose in Corey Watson's arms, but he still had control down by his waist. Because there's no question it's not in his arms there. But are they going to consider that that's still controlled by the receiver? That would be, in my opinion, a bit of a stretch. His knee's not on the ground right now. But this taking longer than normal. With banjos playing in the background.
Now Andre Proulx has got word from the command center. Boy, this is a big call.
Upon review, it was a completed pass. The ball carried, the receiver fumbled the ball prior to his knee being down, and the ball was recovered by Saskatchewan. It will be first down, Saskatchewan.
Roughriders win the challenge, get the football, and this is a big win on the sidelines as the Bombers now are -3 on the day.
And this win, Chris, was about Ken Miller trusting his players' opinions, because they convinced him to throw the challenge, and the first couple of views didn't look like they should.
Absolutely. That challenge flag was made because of the players, not because of any replay that was shown up here that prompted the coaches up here. So Saskatchewan takes over at the 51. And that pass to the back hip of Dallas Baker, incomplete. Good coverage on the corner, supplied by Brandon Stewart.
Darian Durant is trying to make sure that he gives his receivers a chance on these deep balls, but he's leading them away from the defender every time, and it's making it that much of a tougher catch for guys like Dallas Baker or Weston Dressler than the other receiver he sent deep a couple times.
Draw play, Cates got something, has a first down. Hefty with the tackle, but Wes Cates to the Blue Bomber 48-yard line.
The only time you're really going to fool a defense on a drop play is when it's in the 2nd and 10 situation or more. Big blocks by Gene Makowski on Odell Willis right there. Good blocks in the middle, and off to the races is Wes Cates.
Cates now 28 yards back of Mike Saunders for number 2 on the all-time Rough Rider rusher list. Back into his hands, straight ahead. Wes Cates pounds into the secondary, and another Rough Rider first down at the Bomber 31.
Banjo Bowl last year, Wes Cates had just 8 carries for 18 yards.
Now up to 43 on the afternoon on those back-to-back first down romps. They keep feeding it to Cates. And down around the 27-yard line. That time Kenny Maynard with the tackle.
We haven't heard from Andy Fantus. If you're just joining us, back in the lineup for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, hasn't caught a pass yet here this afternoon. And I'm starting to wonder about his game conditioning. It's one thing to practice. It's one thing to be in practices. It's another to get into game shape. He's got to be feeling a little heavy right now.
Roughriders go 2 back with Neil Hughes. And here's Durant looking for Getzlaff again, and that falls incomplete. Getzlaff looking for the hat trick, but Brandon Stewart was step for step.
Again, working in tandem, Andy Fantus and Chris Getzlaff. Little play action where Darian Durant wants to go throwback. He's got Fantus going on a post, and he's got Getzlaff going over to the corner. Here's Andy Fantus, and I'm starting to wonder a little bit about his game conditioning. I mean, he does look like he gets a little separation, but well after Darian Durant had thrown the ball.
Well, he talked about needing a little more cardio work. Here's Chris Milo from 35 yards out, trying to restore that 11-point lead that the Riders had at the half, but Milo has missed. And Javon Johnson, is he going to bring it out? Yes, he will, and he gets tripped up at the 2-yard line. Graham Bell with the tackle, and other support staff that we rely on so much. Bombers backed up after the Javon Johnson decision, and Buck Pierce in trouble. And he'll just ground the football to avoid the sack and the safety.
10 years ago today that it happened, and I think for me, Chris, the one thing that came through more than anything over the last 10 years has been our appreciation for firefighters, police officers, the emergency personnel. 9/11, there were 343 firefighters killed, 72 police officers and rescue workers.
And they were out at the stadium today selling commemorative coins with the proceeds going to the victims' families of 9/11. Second down from the end zone, the pass complete, and a big first down for the Bombers on that catch by Clarence Denmark at the 15.
Buck Pierce is going to have to continue with this consistency, this accuracy. And this one, folks, becomes that much more difficult because he's standing in his own end zone, and he knows and understands that if he's hit or drops a sack there, it's a safety and they give the ball back. So good hard throw over the middle from Buck Pierce.
So first down at the 15. Fred Reed. And Reed with about 3. There's T. George again with Jarrell Freeman chalking up another stat on defense.
You mentioned his stats from a week ago, Chris, as Jarrell Freeman had 7 tackles, 1 sack, a forced fumble, an interception. The only thing he didn't do was throw a touchdown pass.
He's working on it.
He could probably do it.
One of the young rising defensive stars in the league. Here's Buck Pierce looking for Edwards. And speaking of young stars on defense, Craig Butler. His second pick of the game. What a day for the University of Western Ontario Mustang grad.
Daddy's back to protect Glacier Fresh Kokanee from the Sasquatch. Sweet sassy Malassie. I'm dead. I'm really dead. You voted to get rid of me. How could you? Well, good luck finding a new ranger.
Vote for the next Kokanee Ranger at nextranger.ca.
Oh, come on!
Must be legal drinking age.
How many do you want? How many do you want?
At Rona, 90% of our suppliers come from here. Which means a lot of products from Canada and a lot of jobs for Canadians.
How many do you want?
I hear you.
Rona, doing it right.
Well, the NFL on TSN continues tomorrow when the Patriots take on the Dolphins. The first Monday Night Football battle of the year. Live coverage begins 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on TSN. You can also watch the game live on TSN Mobile TV. For the second consecutive game, the Roughriders have forced 4 Winnipeg turnovers. And Darian Durant and the offense takes over the football at the Bomber 23. Fake to Cates. Into the end zone, wants Van-Toos. And intercepted. Javon Johnson gets it back.
And the first interception for Darian Durant in some time.
And the first time they went to number 83 in the second half.
Andy Van-Toos is going to come off the line of scrimmage with an inside release, then break back to the corner. But it's not the man in coverage that gets the pick. It's the play by Ian Logan, the safety, to tip it to Javon Johnson. So both safeties now getting involved and being difference makers.
3 Bombers in the area, all with an impact, and Javon Johnson with the interception. And that ties him for the league lead with 4 and gets him off the hook maybe for the mistake on the return of the missed field goal. Pierce now to air it out. Wants Pobla down the sidelines. Kito Pobla unable to reel it in.
Let's first go back to what Buck Pierce is going to have to fix with a young safety in Craig Butler and Butler's interception. Watch how he's going to look down this side as soon as he catches the ball. Go ahead and run it, guys. And you can see he's already locked in to the right side of the formation. Now, if you take a look at where Butler lines up, watch him go on safety. He reads that look, breaks to the outside. That's his pick. Now, Javon Johnson, he's the beneficiary of the guy who's at safety for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and Ian Logan on a tip on the very next play.
Pierce had only thrown 2 interceptions in the last 6 games. 3 here in 3 quarters today over the middle, and Corey Watson had it go off his fingertips, and Craig Butler was looking for the hat trick.
That time, This is a luxury that the Riders will have now to be able to drop James Patrick from the linebacker spot. He can play a little safety too. That's where he played last year in the beginning of this season. And that ball off the fingertips of Corey Watson, who had a good shot at it. Should have come up with that catch. And you're right, Craig Butler almost had his third.
Mike Renaud booting it away. Line drive kick. Tristan Jackson's had a good return day. And took an extra man to bring him down there. Over the football at the 50-yard line. And Vern Kashama, Bryant Turner were waiting for Wes Keats. Late penalty flag.
Not quite late.
Penalties an issue last week, haven't been so far today.
Major foul, face mask, Winnipeg number 96, 15-yard penalty enforced from the previous line of scrimmage, automatic first down.
He said 96.
I think he meant 56, right?
Here is Kashama right now. He's got Cates.
92,
It was
Bryant
92
Turner.
from the backside.
Costly penalty. First down after the 15-yard penalty. And wide open, there is the first catch back for Andy Fantuz. And he gets a few extra yards and a first down. Andy Fantuz, the top Canadian and top receiver in the CFL, is back.
And he runs a speed out here. Timing to get to the outside. Some moves in the open field. Break a tackle of one of the best tackling defensive backs in the league, and Jonathan Hefney pick up a few extra yards.
Paul Lapalisse told us yesterday that 70% of the time a defensive penalty leads to points for the offense, and that 15-yarder could be very costly. Great play fake there, and Durant, the keeper, and a feet first slide against Hefney, who got jammed up on the play, and Jonathan Hefney in some difficulty after that.
And the training staff's going to have to come out. He's in some distress. It looked like the left leg. Great play fake by Darian Durant to get the corner. He got Odell Willis to bite on that fake, but let's just take a look. It's hard to see. It looked like the right knee of Darian Durant got the hip of Jonathan Hefney.
So Hefney to the sidelines. Dion Beasley's checked in. Quick hitter, Dressler. Weston Dressler cut down at the 5. A touchdown saving tackle by Ian Logan. But the Rough Riders, who have only been able to score 3 points so far in this third quarter with great field position, knocking at the door now.
And what Dressler does is he pulls Javon Johnson inside. Jonathan Hefney, that halfback on the sideline, on the bench, has to sit out for 3 plays. And he takes Javon Johnson inside, an inside position on that quick slant. Dion Beasley comes in to replace Hefney.
Going to correct myself. Rough Riders don't have any third quarter points, and yet they've been down in the score zone this the third time. And here is a pass for Neil Hughes. Touchdown! Neil Hughes into the end zone for his first touchdown catch of the year and his third major of the season.
Well, you remember that play in the first half where Darian Durant tried to go to Keith Sholigan in the end zone? Same play. And this time, Darian Durant decides not to go to the wide open tight end, to go to the fairly well covered fullback who comes up with the catch, but Keith Sholigan first to congratulate Neil Hughes.